President Barack Obama spent the weekend meeting with world leaders and students in Singapore and Shanghai. The president spent an hour meeting with Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, where they discussed reducing nuclear weapons stockpiles and how the two nations would maintain pressure on Iran and its nuclear energy program. He referred to continuing a dual-track approach toward Iran, rewarding the Islamic Republic with economic integration if it ends its pursuit of nuclear weapons, or enforcing harsher economic sanctions if Iran refuses.
We are now running out of time with respect to that approach. And so I discussed with President Medvedev the fact that we have to continue to maintain urgency, and that our previous discussions confirming the need for a dual-track approach are still the right approach to take.
The president moved on to Shanghai, where he spoke at a town hall-style meeting attended by more than 400 college students. Further stops will include Beijing and Seoul, South Korea. And the commander of U.S. Central Command was in Washington, D.C. Friday night at an awards gala to accept an award on behalf of CENTCOM's men and women. Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter was there and has more.
The National Defense University Foundation hosted its annual American Patriot Award Gala at the Ronald Reagan Building in downtown Washington. This year's recipients were General David Petraeus and the men and women of Central Command. General Petraeus says this award recognizes the efforts of the more than 230,000 service members who were deployed in CENTCOM's area of responsibility.
They perform critically important tasks for our country, and it's a real privilege not only to serve with them, but to represent them here tonight as we receive this award for all of those who are out there and going into harm's way for our country.
5 service members representing each branch also accepted the award on behalf of their services.
They are very special people. They are heroes. And this is a time when there aren't very many heroes. America needs heroes, and we're delighted to highlight them.
Also attending the event was General Ann Dunwoody, commander of the Army's Materiel Command, and via satellite, a group of soldiers currently serving in Iraq. Marine Staff Sergeant Brian Buckwalter, Pentagon Channel News.
Army Secretary John McHugh and the Chief of Staff will brief members of the Senate Armed Services Committee Monday on Fort Hood. The testimony is closed to the press. Lawmakers want to hear about the events leading up to the November 5th attack that left 13 people dead. Military prosecutors have charged Army Major Nidal Hassan with premeditated murder. The case will be heard in the military system. Several gunshot victims remain in the hospital. And Secretary McHugh has ordered an investigation into allegations of lost accountability of some graves at Arlington National Cemetery. The order comes amidst revelations that cemetery workers inadvertently buried cremated remains at a gravesite already in use. Since then, questions have been raised over whether cemetery workers used proper procedures to correct the mistake. A Marine found dead Friday in a Camp Lejeune barracks room has been identified. Officials say Lance Corporal Sean O'Malley was from Union, North Carolina. The 24-year-old was an anti-tank assaultman assigned to the 8th Marine Regiment, 2nd Marine Division. The Department of Defense and Veterans Affairs announced that beginning in January 2010, the Disability Evaluation System will expand to 6 additional installations. Here's a look at the new locations at various bases across the United States. The expansion brings the total number of military facilities using the pilot to 27. More than 5,400 service members have participated in the pilot program since November 2007. And the Space Shuttle Atlantis launched at 2:28 p.m. Eastern Time Monday.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
The 6-man crew is headed by Marine Colonel Charles Hobaugh. Colonel Hobaugh received a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering from the U.S. Naval Academy. The Atlantis crew will stockpile equipment on the International Space Station. The 11-day flight will keep astronauts in orbit through Thanksgiving and will include 3 spacewalks. Coming up ahead on Around the Services, art outreach. An Iraqi theater troupe makes moves to try to bring the arts back to their country. But first, special guest, Dr. Jill Biden meets with military families.